6 months ago, me and my ex broke up, and at the same time, I was about to make a big change in my business. No clients, no income for a while as I built these systems that allow me to get to a new level. And I quickly noticed that I was falling into a cycle of self-doubt, working on my business, and then 3 days later lose all interest, making everything seem meaningless suddenly. Starting something and quitting, starting something and quitting, to the point where I didn't even know anymore where I wanted to go with my life as an extension of my business. And the more I tried to force that direction, the more I tried to force an income, the more lost I started to feel. And so you find yourself in this cycle that's very tough to get out. And if you are currently feeling a bit lost, or you've lost that sense of purpose, or you're still looking for a sense of purpose, then let me share with you what got me out of this cycle. And it's just one stupid question. Before I can even ask you that question, we have to understand that life has this humor to it for us men that are trying to build something and really become that man that we can be, right? For us. Right before we make a big leap in our lives, we find ourselves being tested by the universe. Are you really ready for that next level? And the more you start pulling and pushing, the more you are showing that you aren't ready, in fact. It always reminds me of one of the lessons in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I had to learn a million times over, which is a white belt in an uncomfortable position. He will be pulling and pushing out of fear and frustration and emotion. And the more he pushes, the more options he gives to be submitted or to be choked out. And whereas the black belt accepts his discomfort, his fear, his unfavorable position, he breathes and allows his opponent or life or the universe, if you want to extend it, to give him the tools for his escape. Which means to use your opponent's force to reverse the position, to use the universe force instead of resisting it. And I find that such a beautiful metaphor for life, essentially, where I found myself in this cycle of self-doubt and where do I even take this? And because of a lack of willingness to accept my position and to be grateful for what I already have, that I still get to live off my income, of all these great things that I could be grateful for, I was forcing everything, right? And so it is such a masterful act to be in a position like that and to say, this is okay. I'm grateful, this is part of it. I am happy to be in this position. It is okay. I understand that I'm right in front of a big leap, and just like the 1,000 times before this, I always find my way. Now, it's that confidence that gets you out of that cycle almost immediately. And so if you are feeling lost or in search of meaning or purpose, then I'm going to share a question with you that will get you out of this. But first, please understand that this is okay. And so for the rest of this day, don't do anything. Put on your favorite movie, drink some tea, have a chill workout, just do nothing for a day. Just allow for some space. Just for one day, allow for some space and stop pushing and pulling on everything. Stop trying to solve your life, because it is already solved. All of it is already solved. You just need to get out of the way. And then the next day, what happened for me was I found myself writing and asking the same questions I'd been asking for the last months, which was, how do I get out of this? Which of these moving parts in my business do I build first? All these questions about how do I fix this? And I aggressively crossed these questions off and replaced it with, how can I help? The very question and attitude that I had before, where always from that place of how can I serve you guys on the other end of this camera, how can I serve you guys better than anyone else is doing? That has always been the attitude that allowed me to really impact lives. How can I help instead of what must I do to get what I want. And to help you in a very profound way answer that question skillfully is, if I were to put you in a room with 100 men, and you would get $1 billion if you could choose a skill that you would outcompete all of these men in, what would be your best bet? What would be the skill to win that $1 billion? So make that your starting point, and then say, from this place of strength, how can I help this world? Because truly, it is that stupidly simple. In this ego-driven modus, that's where we get stuck in a loop, where we don't find that caring feminine partner, where we don't find direction, where we don't find income. We find ourselves stuck in this cycle. From a place of real authenticity, how can I help? And I promise you that if you take a step back just for this day, where you feel this urge to solve everything and you have this impeding sense of I need to make more money or whatever it is you want for one day, and to just relax, take care of yourself. And then next day, from a calm and peaceful place, ask yourself, okay, now how can I help? I promise you that you will get an answer to that question. And when you do get an answer to that question, then the continuity of that is very simple. Start helping. And if you do, from a place of resourcefulness, then you will get rewarded beyond your imagination. And that, at the end of the day, for us men that still want to be good examples of masculinity, for us, all of it starts with, how can I help? Eventually got me out of this horrible cycle, where it only is a horrible cycle because we are not accepting the fact that the universe is simply asking kindly whether we are ready. And we show in every single way that we are ready, by even in these more challenging times to still say, how can I help? So, how can you help? And if you feel like you need more guidance or you haven't yet before found your sense of purpose, then just know that in the community, which has limited free access, there is a full coaching program on finding your purpose. With more than 50 men, I successfully helped them find their purpose, and it is fully for free in the community. The only requirement is that you are a fit with the rest of the men, which is very simply, we care about impacting this world. If that fits you, then you're more than welcome to join, and I'll be there to make sure that you find these answers and you connect to that voice in your authentic way. And with that said, I want you to take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.